Now, I don't want to say with all this that the male world only consists of zeros and rivets, but I would like to bring into play that it would be very appropriate if men would muster up more tolerance, respect, and equality toward women, so that women can also expand their entitled freedom and develop in their appropriate framework. In fact, as I've realized, it is such that the female gender in many aspects of life, humanity, and peacefulness, etc., is remarkably more developed than the male gender. Consequently, the women judge and approach many things more intelligently. Also, their logic seems to me to be more pronounced, as well as their sense of true freedom, love, and harmony. However, it is just these things that evidently do not fit into the clutter of the lords of creation, which is why they continually try to disregard, oppress, and exploit women. But unfortunately, still many women lend a hand in this, for which the reasons are often inexplicable, especially when these women aren't worthy of being female or unworthy of life, such as with prostitution or servitude to an evil man, etc. Unfortunately, there are also the emancipated women and the women, respectively the mistress women, who appear to be powerful and who set themselves above others and bring them under their rule, as the man does this with a woman. Therefore, the fact still remains, however, that the intelligence of the woman, even of both kinds of sexes, has its black sheep, which are of a completely different type, since even women become overburdening, despotic, attacking, and illogical, etc., as this also happens with men. There are degeneracies everywhere, but these don't cancel out what I said with regard to the woman. Quetzal says, "What you explained is correct." Billy says, "I think so, too. That's why I said it. Yes. It is my effective opinion. Sometimes, I must confess that I am ashamed when I see how women let themselves be degraded or be humiliated by men, when I see how men treat women like dirt. They beat, prostitute, exploit, and rob them of their personal opinion and freedom, and when I see how the female gender must suffer almost entirely under the rule of the male world, unable to have equal rights and often being treated like a rag that has all the filth of the world in itself." Quetzal says, "You drive hard into the court, but I must ascribe correctness to your words." Billy says, "With you, this is fortunately not so, as it is the case here on the earth. Anyhow, that's what Semyasa taught me. But what about with other peoples? I mean with other peoples of your federation, etc." Quetzal says, "In our entire federation, there exist laws that prevent such, as it is common on the earth. Nevertheless, there are foreign civilizations and peoples on foreign worlds, who are not allied with us and who exhibit similar conditions of the mentioned form, as these are usual on earth. But now, dear friend, it is again the time that I turn to my duties. In the future, I will no longer be able to come so often. Farewell, and until we meet again." Billy says, "Bye, my friend. Bye." The end.